Good Morning SKN, and it is indeed International Museum Day. And joining us now in studio is Etsu Bradshaw-Caines, the Executive Director of the St. Christopher National Trust, as we discuss International Museum Day being held under the theme Museum, Sustainability and Well-being. Etsu, welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back.
Indeed, happy to have
pleasure
you with
having
us
you.
today.
Thank you.
So, Esther, can you tell us the role of the St. Christopher National Trust?
The role of the St. Christopher National Trust, there are two very important words. We're here to preserve and to protect the history and the heritage of the people of St. Kitts.
That's
Interesting.
Okay. So let's talk about the theme, museum, sustainability, and well-being. What does that mean to you?
Well, I just talked about protecting and preserving.
Yes.
And I'm glad you asked me about the St. Christopher National Trust first,
Yes.
because the museum could not be if it was not for the trust.
Okay.
Actually, the St. Christopher National Trust was handed down by the St. Christopher Heritage.
Okay.
But we are housed in a building, and I say beautiful building.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Right now, we are getting ready to put some makeup on it. And I say makeup because a lot of persons, I know their questions, and I want to handle that right off the bat. Persons see the scaffolds and they're asking the questions. I know quite recently I've had my phone flooded with the statements made by the Prime Minister that he is in discussion, and we know, but we are working very hard to restore that building. It's been long
Yes.
overdue.
I
Yes.
agree.
So I say that beautiful building, which is now 129 years old, and it is known as the gateway, that arch
Yes.
that's there.
It's a landmark.
It's also, I look at it as soon as people come off of the cruise ships,
Yes.
that's what they would see.
Yes.
I know Port Zante is in front of us, but I don't think that it would turn eyes
No.
like the museum.
I agree.
So, sustainability, and I use that because one of the things that I am concerned about here, especially in St. Kitts, is because I'm also the owner of an NGO, not to plug, but persons develop certain institutions but don't look at the long-term sustainability. And so we want this, and I say we, I take ownership because I'm now the executive director, and I have to plug the executive board, persons who are behind the scenes working diligently. People like Mr. Alfonso Garro, Miss Lavon Caines. We have Miss Janet Archibald Gums, Mr. Snideman Warner. We have Miss Acklin Blaze. And pardon me if I forgot anybody, Mr. Larry Armony.
Yeah.
These are the persons who are working behind me and pushing me upwards to make sure that the trust is sustained and the museum. Now, we have a lot of donations and loans in the form of artifacts, valuable items that since I came on, I have been fighting for us to make sure that we have them inventoried.
Okay.
I am even pushing to get security, 24-hour security, because I don't think we realize the value of our museum. I really don't think so. And we have to start putting that at the forefront. I listen to persons when they come to visit. And myself, I'm a teacher. And so being a parent and a teacher, I visited many museums in the world. I've taken my students and my own children and grandchildren. And I would love to see our museum come to that level.
Of course.
Like
So would you mind sharing with us some of the important historic artifacts piece that's available right now in the museum?
I'm going to talk about one because, I I was excited. There's an organization called INTO, and it's a European organization that brings museums together. And I have applied. They've been working with us, but as the new executive director, I introduced myself quickly, and only to find out that in England somewhere, one of the museums there, they have artifacts that belong to the Wades. The Wades, that's a family, a mixed European Kittitian family, because they migrated here. And so the Wades have left us some of their belongings. So now there is plan for that museum and ours to meet. To meet and hopefully meet in England and also meet here in St. Kitts.
So that you can get some of the artifacts.
Right. Yes. But I do not want to understate the Documentation and Research Center. A lot of persons only know about the archives. And I think it's because the archives is housed in government headquarters. So people put a little precedence and, importance to it. But we have, I can't even put value to it. A Documentation and Research Center. And I'm waiting until exams are over and school reopens, because I told my museum manager, that we are going to invade the schools and we are going to speak to the teachers and to education of the importance to get the students coming to that center. Too many times as teachers, we allow students to depend on Google and on Wikipedia, which is not reliable. Not all. Anybody can go on Wikipedia, because I've seen things about myself on Wikipedia, and I'm wondering, who is that? Because somebody made an error in posting something about whether it be my father, whoever, and then it comes down to me, and I'm like, what's that? So we are looking to infiltrate into the schools to get the students to become also ambassadors. Because people don't realize the importance of the St. Christopher National Trust. They don't realize, and to be a part of us, the outside world. I remember I told my niece, I'm going to get a little job at the St. Christopher National Trust. And she said, Auntie, it's a big thing. She lives in England. I myself didn't realize it was a big thing until I got there, because there's a lot in our hands. And I said our hands because I'm not alone. I have a very good team. So, yeah, we need to get people out there sensitized, and the youth especially.
You say that. Can I ask the ratio of tourist locals visiting the museum, and what can we do to get more locals to visit the St. Kitts National Trust?
I almost want to say 99 to 1.
Wow.
And I'm not being ridiculous at all. The locals who come there, mostly those who are in the diaspora. And they're coming to get information. Or we have a few who are members, and we are reaching out to them to come back for some reason. I know COVID, because during COVID, the museum had to be closed down. The St. Christopher National Trust had to downsize. But we are up, we are open, we are ready. Actually, one of the things we have realized also that, the museum is upstairs, and we're taking that into consideration with our restoration. But we are getting ready now to open a mini exhibition. And it's going to be geared towards the locals. And we're putting it downstairs so that persons who cannot climb stairs have no excuse. Because a lot of times, I can't go up them stairs. Well, guess what?
It's downstairs.
I can't go up the stairs either. I take forever. I took forever to come up here today. But we are taking the mini exhibition. And in that vein, I want to just mention persons like Mrs. Jacqueline Harmony that we've brought back. We've asked her to come out of your home and come help us. We're trying to get persons with the expertise like Mrs. Tony Frederick Armstrong. I know that Tony is busy, but I have to kudos to her, because she has her fingerprints are there in that museum as well, and others.
Awesome stuff. So, Ms. Bradshaw, there's a popular saying that always goes, if you don't know where you're coming from, then you don't know where you're going. But what about those persons who may visit the Federation and would see these artifacts and these landmark places that trying to preserve and think that it's a constant reminder of our past and our colonial past, and think that it will remind them so much of what they've been through? For example, slavery. And as an independent country trying to move forward, trying to develop, how do you convince that person that preserving our past is actually a good thing?
What we have is, and we are still, because people are asking for it. It's funny, people want to know their past, believe me. I think by now we are literate, we are so well read, those of us who know about the past, that we're able to embrace it. But the exhibition that we are still working on, because it's been up before, is from the past to the present. So we don't separate, so that we can appreciate where we are today, based on all of the hard work. And I must say, I'm fighting here for the word, but based on what our ancestors would have put in place for us. So I would advise anybody, yes, it's difficult. You do get emotional, of course, but step back. Take out that camera, do a selfie. Look at where I am today. Oh, sacrifice. That's the word. That was sacrifices. Just look at the positive.
I'm going to speak on the theme. So it is coordinated by the International Council of Museums, that's ICOM, reflecting the theme or issues facing museums. What are some of the issues? We spoke of some of the highs already. What are some of the issues that the St. Kitts National Trust is facing?
Funding. It's an NGO. I guess a lot of persons think that we're government. We're not government. We're an NGO. Yes, we are housed in a government building. We also protect the sites and the properties that belong to government and the people. But with any NGO, funding is also an issue. And we all know that government cannot do it alone. We depend on members. And we can't appeal anymore. Right now, we have, let me start with our lifetime members. We have lifetime members who would have paid one time to get the benefits of the museum, the documentation center, etc. But we have just gone out with an appeal. You paid this lifetime membership some years back. Please help us with a little donation. Members, we're also asking members, as a matter of fact, we are now doing a campaign that if you pay your membership, first of all, I know because of COVID, a lot of persons weren't able to keep up their membership.
That's true.
But so we are saying, well, we have a forgiveness program. Just come in, please, and pay $100 for 2023. The other thing is that we are, I think I can maybe say it. I'm waiting on Mr. Williams, but I've already twisted his arm to try and get some tickets for the music festival. And we're waiting on some companies for some donations so we can have a raffle.
Oh, nice.
To motivate persons to sign on. We need the membership to grow, and we need active membership. We also need volunteers because we're an NGO. We don't have enough. The government gives us a little subvention. But then we still expect them to restore the building. So we can't really, let me put it this way, we are not able to motivate too many professionals to come and work for us because we don't have salaries. We don't have big salaries. So you have to be a person who really wants to volunteer or someone, and then people begin to think that, oh, it's only old people. But then the volunteers are the ones who are, the retirees are the ones who are ready to come and volunteer. So we need members. And I also want to appeal to the companies out there to become corporate members. partner with us.
Yes.
Because in turn, we can do marketing for them. We have our website, we have our Facebook page. And when we do print our brochures, we can market them, advertise them as our partners. So, but funding, we need funding.
And Ms. Bradshaw, as the world continues to celebrate International Museum Day, what is it that the National Trust is doing? Are they putting on anything to celebrate this day in St. Kitts?
We are actually not doing anything special, more than asking persons to visit us. As I said, we are right now, we are working on developing the assets we have. We just had a visit to, we have one of the sites we have is the Spooner's Cotton Ginnery. And we are getting ready to reach out to the community in Keon to speak to them about partnering with us to refurbish the cotton, to finish the refurbishing. We also need, we're reaching out to, I know the tourist season, there are not a lot of ships, but we still have the visitors by ear. And we're also asking the tour guides to remember us as a stop. But we are actually working right now, working diligently, working on our exhibitions. So we're doing a lot of work in-house. We're not doing anything actually celebratory right now.
Okay.
Before we go, I just want to touch on the new museum that will be built shortly. And it is in connection with your dad. Continued empathies and sympathies to you. How do you feel about that? And how are you going to work in tandem with that museum when it's on board and the St. Kitts National Trust?
Well, I will say that, let me start by being very honest. This is something I've heard from every government.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to exhale.
Okay. Well, I hope
I'm going to be very frank.
Yeah.
But I've had the Prime Minister did meet with me.
Yes.
To discuss it, and I will say openly that any celebration, any recognition for the hard work that my father, and I say that with pride, has put into this federation, any recognition I welcome, as long as the family is included.
Okay.
But I hope that it will be in tandem with the National Museum. The National Museum has housed many experts. I know the Prime Minister mentioned, and he did say to me in passing one day, that he's speaking to the Taiwanese to have an expert come in. But I would hope, and this is that the expert would come in to work with the National Museum and the forthcoming museum at the home of the Right Honorable Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw. I think timing, God has a way. And I think my stint at and I say stint because I'm not there forever, I'm older now, I'm retired as well. But, I accepted the call. And it's something that I have inherited the love for artifacts from my dad. My dad raised me up as a child collecting stamps. Everybody knows he had a huge collection in his home, and I'm just hoping that it is somewhere preserved. That's my concern, that it's somewhere preserved for it to be able to be exhibited, because there was a lot. But I am excited, but waiting prayerfully to see it happen, and asking with as they would say, with no water in my mouth, that it be done along with, partnered with the National Museum, so that we can work together. And I'm sure that would have been his wish.
Indeed. Well, Etsu, it was indeed a pleasure having you here today. I know when we're having fun, the time flies by. And I hope this is not the first time and the last time we'll have you here in the position that you are as a curator, can I say you are the curator of the museum?
No, don't
Okay.
call me the curator.
As the director. Okay, as the director.
I'm a curator, but you know what?
Okay, as the executive director of the museum.
Right.
And locals, we should go out and support, yes, and
show them the support.
learn our heritage. Museums are important.